the 115. Let's dive into it. I've seen it in person. When I walked by the booth, I was like, that's not quite, the 98 that's there.
It's amazing what a difference. You wouldn't think, but it's, you figure it's so much bigger and so much more immersive. That's the paradigm shift we're kind of having. Is how far away you sat from a TV was to have good picture quality. Now with so much stuff in 4K, so much stuff getting AI up converted, now we're talking about a field of view.
Welcome into the Independent Thinking Podcast. This is your host, Rob Stott. We are rolling right along with our series of primetime episodes coming out of the show in August, and I feel like it's tradition now to have Mr. Bruce Walker from TCL, product evangelist over there for that brand, hop over to our podcasting area and just provide an update, right? To see what's going on in the display space and what trends, the company's following or acting against in their product portfolio and new products they're launching. Always a lot of exciting updates coming out of the TCL brand, and obviously an important partner for us here at Nationwide Marketing Group and for our TV, our consumer electronics, and other retailers out there. So wanted to have them on and dive into what's new for TCL, what they're seeing as the back half approaches. It's interesting period. The August show is placed right ahead of the as retailers are looking at their Black Friday assortments, and obviously TVs are a major part of what gets promoted during that period. And then not too far after that is the big game, and just a couple months later, getting ready to once again look at the TV market and see how we can't drive some business for retailers in the space as that big game approaches and customers look to upgrade, what they are watching that big game on. So, a neat opportunity to sit down with Bruce and talk about the technologies, the innovations he's seeing, and how TCL's, staying ahead of it. So that's what we did, and always a good time sitting down with him, and, look forward to being able to share that conversation with you here. So let's just dive into it. This is Bruce Walker, product evangelist for TCL here on the Independent Thinking Podcast. All right, we are back on the Independent Thinking Podcast, coming to you from Primetime here in Las Vegas. And it wouldn't be a primetime if we weren't talking TCL and with Mr. Bruce Walker, product evangelist. How are you, sir?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Enjoying the nice warm weather?
You know it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's just a balmy. I think it's like 104 today.
Went down a little bit.
Actually, I know.
We were out on Saturday, and a guy was like, "Yeah, it's the coolest it's been in weeks." It was like in the high 120s for a while. It's insane.
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable,
But the show's great. We're having lots of fun, meeting lots of great members. It's always fun to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned talking about the heat. Like, I don't know who told Hank Alexander it was a good idea to bring people out golfing either.
That was a warm day.
At least they had some fans.
Exactly.
No, but
hydrated.
it's as hot as it is out there. Hot in here too, right? The deals that are going on and new product intros and so how are things?
Fantastic.
Simple question,
Fantastic.
Right?
Things are really good at TCL. We're meeting new customers every day. We're growing the brand. We've had some incredible success this year. Coming out of CES in the springtime, we're really enjoying things like being number 2 in the United States for 5 years in a row. Very proud of the fact that in 2023 we were number 3 in revenue. Went from number 5 in revenue to number 3, which is really telling me that not only are people buying lots of our TVs, but they're buying better ones. Getting better revenue, and just with the product launches that we've had. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the nerdy stuff, but just the product this year is really second to none. So very exciting.
A little more than halfway through the year, what's worked well this year in the TV category?
So big. That's the big. Customers are accepting that. One of our inside lines we use just to keep us in check is 98 is the new 85, and when you look at things like our 98-inch TV or an 85-inch TV and the way they're built now compared to a lot of folks, we live and breathe all this stuff every day. We don't realize that a customer coming to buy a TV today hasn't thought about a TV in 6 or 7 years. So the TV that they're replacing has bezels that are this thick on each side,
right.
And it's this thick, and we've got an 85-inch TV is only about 5.5 inches wider than a 65-inch TV from 10 years ago, and the 98-inch TVs with the bezels are not that much bigger. So people are the real growth in the industry is in that large screen category, and we've really embraced it. We're number 1 globally in the 98-inch screen size. We don't have it here. Maybe our next show is our our new amazing 115-inch, which I got some exciting things to talk about that when we get into it. But it's just been a really fun year for us.
You mentioned the customers. That is a long cycle, right? For them, coming from where they were to product today. Is there a lot of education that has to go on, or do they see big and they're like, what, they get it?
There is. It's when we think about even, one of our more popular models is our 98 Q6, is our entry-level QLED. Quantum Dot TV is a fantastic TV. It's an achievable TV. You can get it in the $2,000 price range for a 98-inch TV. And while it's not our flagship TV, compared to a TV a customer's replacing, it's going to be so much better, let alone bigger and things like that. So there's an education. There's the streaming portion of it. That's the education.
You think about 7 years ago, not really. Streaming wasn't as mainstream as it is now.
Wasn't nearly as prolific, and the fact that so many people are cutting the cord and using not only the streaming systems of Paramount and Netflix and Hulu, they're using Fubo and YouTube TV for their TV consumption, and how it's a little bit different way of doing things. And what I like about Google TV, one of our great partners, is very well integrated. So finding what you want to watch, it's a different world now. I remember joking. It seemed like I was joking yesterday that a question our kids won't ask is what's on TV tonight. Right. But we're there. It's like, what do you want to watch?
Right. I mean, literally gone are the days. I saw, full transparency, YouTube TV customer sitting here. There's not flipping through, remembering what channel number certain stations are, right? So there's none of that.
Yeah, and that's what I like about Google TV is it's the main thing is it's content forward. So you turn it on and you see the shows you were watching yesterday. You see the shows that would be similar, so you can discover new shows, which is a really fun way to do it too. But our technology this year has really been working with Google and working with all the power that we have as a vertically integrated company. And I've told this story before. It's really been kind of an industrial story in the past where we make all of our own stuff, which allows us to come to market faster and be more affordable. But what we're really turning into this year is some really unique technologies that put us on par or ahead of those guys in terms of technology that we're bringing to market, which is a little bit different story than TCL has told in the past. So it's really exciting this year.
I want to think too, like the tech, how you go about, and it's less about the innards and the technology within, the physical technology within, but like the software side of things. How different is it from just a couple of years ago for you guys to get with the streaming platforms?
It's
and
very
everything
exciting
like
because one of the things we've introduced last year we had our AIPQ processor in our flagship TVs. This year we're taking that same type of processor, 3 different flavors of it, but we're bringing it all the way down to our entry-level 4K TV. So even our S5 class TV, our entry-level 4K, is going to have AI processing and all the good stuff that comes along with that in terms of better picture quality, better operational, and on better things like up conversion. Because we love 4K, we love HDR, but sometimes you're going to watch Cheers. And with this AI processing, it's going to make that content look the best that it can. And now we've got a family of processors. Seems to be one of the big things, and that's in an era where some other manufacturers are removing that level of processing at the entry level. We're adding it, so it's a good. And again, at the end of the day, it's all about benefits for the customers. What's good for them. So we're very proud to do that.
For sure. So the 115. Let's dive into it, man. It is. I've seen it in person. When I walked by the booth, I was like, "That's not quite the 98 that's there." It's like, no, you can tell it's unbelievable.
It's amazing what a difference you wouldn't think, but it's you figure it's so much bigger and so much more immersive. That's this paradigm shift we're kind of having. Was back in the day, back when I was a young man, the how far away you sat from a TV was to have good picture quality. If you sat too close, you saw the pixels, the picture stuck. Now with so much stuff in 4K, so much stuff getting AI up converted, it's now we're talking about a field of view. You want to sit 9.5 feet away from a 98-inch, so you get that magical cinema field of view. On the 115-inch, 11.5 feet away.
Wow.
And one of the major reviewers out there, Caleb Denson at Digital Trends, he did his review of the 115. He said he was about 9 feet away. And he's like, boy howdy. He says the most fun he'd ever had reviewing a TV.
That's awesome.
So it's that whole immersive experience. And then for the nerds out there are so many movies that you want to watch that are in the 235 to 1. So we still got those letter bars. Letterbox bars. First time I've ever seen an aspect ratio like that where I didn't feel like I was losing something. I just felt more immersed because it felt wider watching it on a 115. It's really an amazing experience. And in terms of great promotions, we know one of the biggest challenges for everybody, including the members, is like, okay, that's really cool, but holy crap, how
am I moving this thing? Yeah.
So we're doing a promotion with our distributor partner O'Rourke, and get all the details from them, but the long and the short of it is the price that you get on the 115 gets it to your door.
Yeah.
So it gets drop shipped to your door, whether it's their shop or the end site if they have the right address and all that. So that's a big weight off a lot of people, no pun intended, off of everyone's minds. And then for end users that buy the 115, we're doing an incredible promotion. We're calling it the 115 Club, where when you purchase the 115 inch, you get your choice of these incredible experiences. You can get a Super Bowl ticket. You can get a trip to the TCL Chinese Theater for a premiere. We're working with Call of Duty to have an incredible promotion. So lots of great options for people that want the best TV that's out there, and have a great immersive experience, and then have another fun experience.
Incredible. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I know too the NFL, you mentioned it, the NFL partnership still a big deal. Yep. Have they, from a picture perspective, have you guys focused any, does it, that partnership put you in a position to be able to look? I know not aspect ratio, but the refresh rates and things like that.
It's something
sports.
That we've
are you able
to subjectively probably it's put it more in people's minds.
Yeah.
When we're working on our motion handling controls, of which there are a million on the TV, we want to be able to give the customer what they want. Some people like that super smooth look. Sometimes they call it the soap opera effect. Some people love that. Some people like a little bit more crispness to it. And our motion controls on the TV are very granular to give the customers what they want. And it's kind of the same thing with gaming. So with the official TV of Call of Duty, in addition to the official TV partner of the NFL, so the gamers are very demanding users. So we give them the performance and control over it. We've revamped our game bar, so the gamers are really getting what they want this year. So lots of great stuff. Yeah,
and it's cool too because it shows that you don't have to be super if you get this TV in your house, great out of the box, right?
Yep.
But if you want to get nitty gritty with it and get into it, you absolutely can, and customize the experience for what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get out of it, and those partnerships really do speak to that.
Absolutely, yes. And again, being the official, with the TCL Chinese Theater, we know movies have to look good on. So really, those three pillars are like the three, my three main things: sports, gaming, and movies. That's why you get a TV. And we're doing things. We're pushing the envelope in terms of performance. It's generally accepted by. I've seen about a half a dozen reviews that our QM851 this year is the brightest TV they've ever tested. And some people get a little nervous when you're looking at a TV with 5,000 nits. Like, I don't need that. I'm like, and I try to explain to them, you're not getting 5,000 nits to watch a ball game.
Right.
What you're getting is when you're watching a movie and there's a lightning bolt, or you get a reflection off an aluminum hubcap. That's where those specular highlights get in. So when people say you don't need 5,000 nits, like you're not watching that every day, but it's got the horsepower there to do it. And again, getting back to the technical end of our vertical integration, that our entire backlight system is in-house designed, in-house manufactured. We know everything's works together, and it is super, super high performance. Our flagship, that 115, has 20,000 zones of local dimming. Our QM851 has up to 5,000 zones. So we really can control the light between the processors, the chips we make, the lenses we make ourselves. It really all comes together to tell an incredible technology story.
I feel cliche asking you because I know in your head you're always thinking next, right? But how much more can we really crank out of these TVs?
I think where Dolby Vision right now is at best mastered a little over 4,000 nits. There are some mastering techniques that are going to be able to get you up to 10,000 nits. So that's, but then there's, like you said, there's that, and Pirelli had a famous tagline back in the year that power without control is nothing. So there's some technologies that are trying to reach peak brightness, but you're losing, I call it the delicacy, the shadow detail, things like that. And that's why I think we have some room to do even better for our customers. It's not only give them that horsepower, that smack in the face when they see the lightning bolt, but when you're watching that horrific scene from Game of Thrones, The Long Dark Night, you can see what's going on. You understand, because people keep talking about director's intent, and that's a funny thing to talk about, because really, if you get to what director's intent means, you're sitting in a pitch black room and watching it.
Quite impossible.
It was really impossible. So trying to manage those expectations and still give customers the experience that they deserve.
No, it's incredible. And I mean, it's always awesome to see what you guys have in the booth and what you're showing off and just the products. I mean, so much news regularly coming out of the TCL camp. So
it's very exciting. And we've got a couple of soundbars in the booth this year. We're really proud of the fact that every single soundbar in 2024 has some level of Dolby Atmos Atmos processing.
Yep.
Our flagship soundbar, which is just starting to hit the market right now, is something we've never done before. It's a real soundbar. It's got up-firing speakers in the soundbar. It's got side-firing speakers. The wireless rear speakers also have up-firing speakers, so it's a 7.1.4, and it sounds spectacular. So we're very excited to now. We've dabbled in soundbars in the past in the sub 250 categories because that's where it was. But now that the TVs are getting to a level where we can compete, quite candidly compete with the G4s and the Bravia 9s and of the world, we need some sound to match it. We don't want to sell an incredible TV and have them go to something else for audio. We want to give them a good option.
Create that whole package, right?
And whole family.
When you talk about an independent retailer opportunity, these are the guys that get them in the door and provide that incredible white glove almost experience for that customer.
There are a lot of your members. We've worked really hard. We're going to be a very, very important part of the CI channel. So all of our TVs this year, the S5 and up, are going to have discrete IR codes. We're Control 4 certified. We're working with Crestron. We're working with Savant, all the other players on there. So for your members that do that type of installation, I know Hank's really into that world. We're finally going to be able to fill up a house with TCL TVs and have that whole automation system.
The potential is just absolutely palpable.
We're very excited about it.
Stealing some Richard Gleick's alliterationisms. Hey, big words. Love it. No. Hey, man. Well, Bruce, as always, awesome to have you on and talk TVs and see just pick your brain for a little bit.
Awesome.
So
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the members. Of
course.
Without them, we'd be nothing.
Hey, man. We'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. And thanks again to Bruce for, as always, like we said at the top, stopping by and swinging over to the podcast area and sharing the latest updates from the TCL brand. And, excited to see how, that the partnership with the NFL evolve and, just the product categories that they are dabbling in as well. Making sure that they provide a full picture, a complete story for our retailers as they look to engage with their customers and, provide that full package entertainment solution to them, in this category. So always a lot of fun chatting with him and picking his brain and seeing what TCL's doing to arm our retailers with the best tools possible. So appreciate that. And as always, appreciate you listening to the Independent Thinking Podcast, and we'll catch you next time.